All right, what's up? Um, Wanted to tell a story about growing up. One of the stories I tell all the time. Anybody who knows me is going to know this story. Probably one of the first stories I ever tell people, specifically when I meet them for the first time and they find out when my birthday is. As soon as we start talking about my birthday, this story comes out because this is a big one. I wanted to tell a story before that, and then I'll get into it. But growing up, for the holidays, we would go to my grandparents' house. That was pretty much probably till I was 11 or 12. I forget the exact year, but holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Fourth of July, stuff like that. We go to my grandparents' house, and there'd always be lasagna and the antipasto. Anybody who knows the antipasto. Um, and little kids running around. I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. There was my cousin there, my brother specifically, and so the kids running around, and everybody was all happy to see grandma and grandpa, and um, we got into a conversation one day about oh, grandma's so nice, she always does stuff for us, this, that, and the other thing, and my aunt goes off, and don't get me wrong, I'm not talking bad about anybody, just listen to the story. But my aunt goes off and goes, "That's not the way my mother raised us. We're not like that." So, nobody could believe it. Me, my cousins, my brother couldn't believe it. Grandma's so nice. She's always taking care of us. So one day at, I believe it was Thanksgiving. I don't know exactly when it was, but us kids running around did something to irritate grandma, and she yelled so loud, "You damn kids!" and just went off the rails. And it was only a couple seconds, and it was, she just yelled one time. Apparently, we just hit that nerve just right. And she only yelled one time, and my aunt almost stood up on the chair and pointed and was like, "That's the way my mother raised us. You kids don't know anything." So she was all excited about that my grandmother finally yelled at us for the first time ever. And I definitely believe it was the last time ever. Um, my grandfather, on the other hand, he would uh, he would threaten us kids and tell us that I'm gonna break your horns. So once we got old enough and smart enough, and a bunch of wise ass kids, like, we ain't got no horns. What are you gonna do? So yeah, those were my grandparents growing up. But the so that's the one story I wanted to tell. But the other story, and this is well, I'll just tell the story and then you can make your own decision. Um, my birthday is the day after Christmas, and anybody born anywhere in the month of December, especially, and the closer to Christmas it is, the more that this happens. Is everybody wants to save money and combine your Christmas and birthday presents. Um, my brother, even as recently as this past Christmas, sent me a joke, um, a Facebook meme that had exactly that. It was the baby Jesus, and the three wise men show up, and they're like, "This is your Christmas and birthday gift." And obviously the way the holidays are, and Christian faith, Jesus's birthday is Christmas, but I'm not getting religious about anything. Just that's just the way it is. So my birthday was always combined with Christmas, and that's just the way I grew up. My mom did a spectacular job keeping them separate. So I would get toys and games and whatnot on Christmas, and the birthday was for clothing. So you might get some clothing on Christmas, but that was because that was your Christmas outfit that you were wearing to grandma's house that day. So you needed that present for that day. So that's why you got clothing on Christmas. Other than that, you were getting clothes on your birthday, and you might get a toy or something on your birthday, but really you're getting clothes, and Christmas was where you're getting toys and games and stuff. So there was that separation, and my mom was pretty consistent about that. For my brother's birthday is, again, he would get clothes on his birthday and then maybe one toy, but Christmas was where you get the toys and games and whatnot, and really no clothing. So my mom was really good at that. My wife is really good at that too. So anyway, we have Christmas morning at our house, and then we get dressed, and it's like, all right, time to go to grandma's. Now, it was always very exciting Christmas morning because we would have presents under the tree at home, and then we go to grandma's, and then we just get more presents. And grandma got us presents, and our aunts got us presents and stuff like that. So when we went to grandma's house, it was like Christmas all over again. We weren't just getting one thing. We were coming home with 3, 4, 5 things, and as 8, 9, 10-year-old kid, pretty awesome. So we pack up, we go to grandma's house, and as soon as I walk in the house, and I mean this, I wasn't even in the living room yet. I was walking through the front door, and my cousin runs up to me. He's like, Joe, I got a 19-inch TV for Christmas. I'm like, okay, you're an only child. You got a TV. Whoop-de-doo. Good for you. So, a little jealous, and I'm like, well, I wish I had a TV. And we go in for Christmas morning. Now, the thing about Christmas morning was, anybody who sees this that was there, you're going to laugh, because this is what happened, especially through the eyes of a child, is we would walk in, and it wasn't just like, okay, we're going to sit down and open presents. We had to wait for everybody to get there. And we had to wait for everybody to show up, and then everybody had to go out to the car and bring the presents in and stuff like that. So when you're a kid and you just want to tear into some presents and then be told you have to wait, and you'd have to wait for like upwards of an hour and sit there and just stare at this pile of presents that are sitting there and you can't open them, it kind of gets you. And then knowing that my cousin had gotten a TV and I don't have one, it didn't matter what I had at home. I wanted the TV, but that's just the way it was. So anyway, everybody comes in, and we start opening presents and everything. And, oh, I got this, I got that, and they're showing up what they have, what they got, and all of a sudden, this big giant box gets pushed over to me, and they're like, Joe, this is yours. It's a big box, and I open it up, and it's a 19-inch TV. Apparently, they were on sale, and my grandparents bought all of them, and they got one for my cousin, and they got one for me. So I'm like, sweet, I got a 19-inch TV too. So I'm yelling across the room, Dom, I got a 19-inch TV too. Now, remember, this is back in the 80s when a 19-inch color TV was like top of the line, and I think my parents only had like a 24 or 25-inch TV in the living room, so 19 inches was pretty awesome. I mean, kids nowadays, they have their flat screens and who knows what else. But for a kid, 10 years old, 9 years old, I forget what age I was. I think I was 10. I got all excited. I got a 19-inch TV. So I'm ecstatic. He got one, I got one. This is awesome. Well, here comes my grandmother, who bought it. She bought it. And she yells across the room, by the way, Joe, that's your Christmas and birthday gift. So, as soon as she said that, I didn't want it anymore. I did not want it because I felt gypped. I just so I'm not getting something tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday. So I get this, but I'm not getting something tomorrow. I'd rather have something tomorrow and something smaller than this today. So I'm bummed, completely bummed. I really didn't want it at that point. And so I'm kind of like, you know what? all right, you got a TV. Who knows what you're going to do with this when you get home, but you got a TV. So enjoy it. And then my grandmother yells at me again, not like in the beginning of this video when she yelled at us for misbehaving. She just yells across the room, and there's 13 people in the room, and so everybody's loud, talking this, that, and the other thing. And so she yells to get my attention again. And by the way, Joe, you have to share that with your brother. I had to share my Christmas gift and my birthday gift with my brother. That was a kick in the teeth. That was the worst ever. I didn't say anything, went home. As far as I was concerned, that was my TV. I mean, it had my name on it. I was the one who opened it. It didn't matter. That was my TV. And me and my brother got into so many fights over that TV. A lot. To make matters worse, and realistically, a child having to deal with this situation is pretty bad. I don't even remember what it was that my brother got from my grandparents on his birthday. Regardless of what it was, it didn't matter. Even if it was a piece of paper, he got something on his birthday from them. And I threw a fit. I went off yelling, screaming, cursing and crying, essentially, because he got something for his birthday. I didn't get anything for my birthday. I got a TV that was my birthday, and then I had to share it with somebody else. You name one kid that age, 10 years old, somewhere in there, you name one kid that wants to share their birthday present with anybody. Doesn't matter. My mom would make up excuses of why I was acting a fool at my brother's birthday. Oh, it's just Joe. He gets a little rambunctious around people. No, I was mad because I was disrespected when it comes to presents. It wasn't the fact that I didn't like people. I love people. I love being around people, especially now, doing what I'm doing. I'll talk your ear off. You want to know what's going on in my life? Sit down, let me tell you. So, yeah, it just drove me crazy that they would do that. And it still happens. I'm old enough now where it doesn't matter to me, and I understand. You tell me you want to save money, and I'm just getting you one gift, fine. You don't get me anything, and just say, hey, I thought about you. Cool. Like, I'm down with that. But at 10 years old, just either don't get me anything or just, it drives me crazy. So, that's just something that I had to deal with. And anybody who's born, and the further out from Christmas it goes, I'm sure the pain is worse. There's people, they're born in November or January, and they're like, oh yeah, we're just going to combine them together. No, it's because you bought stuff for everybody else, and you don't have enough money to buy me a birthday present in January or, November. So I get that. Just don't make up the excuse. Just tell me, hey, I can't afford it. Tell your kids, can't afford it. And this is what you're getting. It's something bigger than normal, but you know what? Guess what? I spent $200 on a TV and nothing for your birthday. So, for your sibling's birthday, they're only getting a $10 thing because I could afford that in May or July or whenever their birthday is. So, I don't know. I'm really getting myself worked up just telling the story, but I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to tell the story, and yeah, that's what I got for today.